Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the FV304. It's the Tier 6 British SPG, fastest one in the game. This one's located on the southeast spawn of Empire's border, and it's under the command of Oksydor. And I do believe this is on his NA account. So that's why the barrels are not marked with 3 marks of excellence. Game on. Now, as many of you know, the FV304 actually was considered, designed, but never actually produced. The project was cancelled. It was obsolete by the time that they came to developing it in 1947, and in 1950 they thought, what the heck, and gave up on it. In actual fact, the model of the Arty we're seeing in the game is actually the FV305, and it should have a 5.5 inch howitzer. But of course they've only given it the same 4.5 inch you find on the Bishop and also on the 5.5 inch Crusader with the stock gun. Okay, well, he's gone straight into the aim. He's got as close to the enemy as he dares. He fired one ahead of the path of the AMD, but that guy turned around, and in fact he just stopped in his tracks and redirected and came back up again. We're going for an M4A3E8 who stayed still long enough to shoot, but he's reaching the rock, and now he'll probably hide behind that rock momentarily. So I would normally aim the other side of the rock, yes, because he's going to stop there. Rounds out on the engine deck. Close, but it hit the rock face instead. Standard reload for this Arty, 12.94 seconds. And well, he's got 10.76, so he's actually improved his reload. Oh, that's a penetrating shot. 489. It's 450 alpha. That's a high roll. He also got some track damage. This guy is obviously responding, but he still took 16 hit points of splash there. Okay, meanwhile, we can see an OI just coming up that path. And the enemy Arty's just been spotted. He's just outside range for us though, so we can hit this OI though. Round out on him. We didn't see what happened to that round. Just didn't show up at all. He fires another one in, and that definitely hit the target. No doubt about that. Okay, that Type 58 is outside maximum range, but he's adjusting his range just slightly. Getting very close to the rock face now. It manages to land alongside. Now he can go for this OI. Waiting for the reload. Our Thunderbolt's going to have to stay out of the way of the gun of that OI. But he still manages to get a nice hit for 188, which means the Thunderbolt, of course, is picking up the spotting assist out of that. And he lets the Thunderbolt know that he's helping. Nope, didn't get it with that one, but he'll just keep pumping those rounds out. Going for it again, rounds out. Just missed him. Thunderbolt, yes, you can see he's right up against the rock face, so he couldn't get any closer. The only way to do that is actually get a bit lower down. Of course, in the intervening period, unfortunately, we did lose the Thunderbolt. He went down to the AMD 178B on the enemy team. So while he was trying to avoid the OI, unfortunately, he fell under the guns of that AMD instead with his 75mm. At least I think it's the 75mm. Going for the OI. As he's backing up, he's making himself vulnerable. And there's a kill shot. The AMD tries to run away. Turns around though. He's anticipating the guy's going to change direction. Rounds out. Well, it was a good estimate, but unfortunately it didn't work out. Now, it's the problem with this Arty is you do have to get close to the enemy, and that actually can make it fairly dangerous. There's a huge enemy force on its way to our cap at this moment. And the reason we know that is because you can look at the mini-map and you can see there's a bunch of enemy tanks that went up the hill, and they could be, at this moment, about to enter our cap area. The good news is that the Hummels managed to escape, and the Giro is helping us. Could just be, though, that those enemy tanks have turned around and gone back to defend their cap. Got forces coming in from two different directions. Ooh. Now, the enemy FV304 just took out our AMD 178B, and the enemy is capping. Oksydor's firing blind at the moment. He's making good guesses as to where the enemy might be, though. I don't think we're going to get any help from the other side of the map, but we are winning this game. And there's only two in the enemy cap at the moment, but we do need somebody to spot. And the M6 and Giro are moving in to find out where they are. So I think the next round might be worth holding on to the shell, waiting for them to spot the enemy, and then pump the round in. So he fires anyway. They're about to pop round the corner, and it'd be nice to have a shell in the breach when he does. When they do. He's still firing blind. Oh, he got a hit! Oh, and he set the P43 Biz alight! That shell was extremely valuable because it not only got a reset, but it badly wounded the P43. And he takes another hit. I think he's burned his repair kit, and that's why he can't move. He's gone down. And now we're aiming for the last remaining enemy in that cap area is the Rudy Polish, which is funny because Oksydor is Polish. Now he can't fly from one direction. The Giro gets the kill from the other. There's only two enemies left, the Thunderbolt and the VK301P on the enemy team. Unfortunately, all the friendly tanks on the enemy team that went towards the enemy cap got wiped out. So the Hummel, he's asked for help. Is the Hummel going to follow him? Ideally he should, because he ought not to stay in that general area on his own. Top speed for the FV304 is 72.4 kilometers an hour. That's the same as light tanks. Very, very quick, but this is very light Arty. It's only 22.7 tons or 22.7 thousand kilos. Well, this is interesting because what he's doing is setting up a ambush on any of the enemies that come in this direction. View range for this Arty is 255 meters. So he might get warning that the enemy's there, but he'll probably only get 2 shots off before he's wiped out. Maybe even only just 1 shot if they've got a high enough alpha. Now the Giro's moving into a position where he might be able to help because he's got a much longer view range than we've got. I can see why he set up that little nest now. In the meantime, our other teammate in the M6 has decided to go up the hill, probably anticipating that the enemy team won't go up in that direction because obviously it takes longer to go over the hill than it does to go through the valley. Mind you, the M6 doesn't have much in the way of hit points. You can probably see that if you look at the map. And there is the Thunderbolt. Okay, round out. Well, it hit, but it didn't do any damage at all, which is surprising. You can see it actually did hit the turret. Now, lining up the next shot. Another direct hit, but this time it did work. 172. The Giro is dead. He is a one-shot, though. We can kill that Thunderbolt. Oh, he did! He got him! That was very, very nicely aimed because it actually was a blind shot, but he judged where the Thunderbolt was going, and he got it absolutely right and wiped the guy out. Now, there's only one other enemy left. It's the VK301P, and according to the hit points, we can see he potentially has 981 hit points left. So that he's quite healthy. Now the question is, where is he? Now the Hummel's staying behind at the cap. Meanwhile, Oksydor's going to run over the other side of the battlefield, going through the middle, I hope. And then he should be able to cap out. Oh, they found the VK, and our M6 dies very quickly indeed. Now, is that VK going to come this direction, or is he going to go the opposite? He probably saw his teammate in the Thunderbolt get wiped out And he may be deciding it's probably easier not to go that route and actually instead to cut straight through the valley. It did look as if he was moving in this direction. I'm wondering if we're going to spot him. Remember, only 255 meters. It's not far. Pokes his nose out, no sixth sense. It could very well be that the VK is actually just sitting there waiting for somebody else to come towards him. He can see that there's only 2 Arty left on our team. He may be counting on Oksydor in his FV304 to come speeding across to his cap. The Hummel is going through the valley. Not through this valley, rather the other valley. To try and come out the other side. Problem is the Hummel doesn't have very much better view range. He's only got a view range 265 millimeters, so almost 7 millimeters again. Okay, well, it looks like Oksydor's decided 2 is better than 1. And he's following the Hummel through. I wonder if he was spotted and that's why he's indicating there. I think he was spotted from the valley. Well, Oksydor's giving the Hummel a bit of an assist. Can't be certain if the VK's there or not. However, if the VK's gone too far and he is there, okay. Now they're both lining up for a shot. Fires manually. Oh, he gets a lovely hit. And the VK's only 311 hit points, so he could be taken out with just 2 Arty shots. And I think that Oksydor's going to harass this guy now by coming up behind him and shooting him in the ass. Okay, the Hummel fired. And Oksydor's blasted him in the rear. The VK's intent on killing the Hummel. He's going in for a ram kill. But now Oksydor gets the ram kill or shotgun him in the rear and wins the game. Nicely played. Here's the end of battle results, and that was an ace tanker game for Oksydor in the FV304. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he managed to get 10. And he got a high caliber because he dealt the most damage in that game overall. And his win rate was 7,423, which is super unicum and quite a bit more. Let's have a look at team score. Well, the highest damage went to Oksydor for 2,396 hit points, the only player to get over 2,000. Second highest damage went to the AMX-12 Ton, who was on the assault team that actually ended up at the enemy cap but got wiped out. 1,998 went to him, and he also picked up a Pascucci, so he must have killed both enemy Arty. And in third place was the Thunderbolt on the enemy team. He got 1,593 hit points of damage. When it came to kills, though, it was the AMX-12 Ton did the best with 4 kills. 3 kills went to Oksydor and to the Honi 3 on their own team, and also to the Thunderbolt and the Rudy Polish and the VK3001P on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, it's the AMX-12 Ton again. He got 1,131, the only one to get over 1,000, whereas Oksydor managed 944 and the T37 managed 748. Oksydor fired 26 rounds in that game, got 12 direct hits on the enemy and 1 penetrating shot. I believe that was on the M4A3E8. 15 splashes as well. 2,396 hit points, of which 1,779 broke more than 300 meters. 5 enemy vehicles were damaged, 3 were killed, and 141 hit points of damage assistance. He also got 52 defense points when he reset the cap when the enemy was capping with that nice shot on the P43 Biz. Now, he picked up a profit of 16,075 credits from the game. He got 25 bonds out of it as well because he got a mission achievement and 7,080 experience points altogether because he got a mission completion in there as well. So yes, a very nice game. In fact, at the end, I suppose you could say his tactics were for both of them to go in together, and he was using the Hummel for bait. And of course, Oksydor knew that if he could get behind the VK, then the VK would focus on the Hummel whilst he was blasting the guy in the rear, and it worked very well indeed because basically the Hummel was shooting at him from his front, and the VK went straight after the Hummel instead of going after Oksydor, which was the big mistake because of course this is the faster Arty, and of course he's got much more maneuverable than the Hummel, so he can get behind the guy, and he did, and he managed to get 3 shots into that VK before the VK realized, unfortunately too late for him, that yes, that third shot was going to be a kill shot right into his rear. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.